How you doing? How's everybody in chat? Sandra, Lee Redpath, Luke Marshall, Roxanne Glenn, Beyond Belief, Stephen Watson, Baron Bronskevich, Eyes Wide Shut, Drain Man 1962. How you doing? Scrolling back through the chat. Matthew C.4, Chris Hayes, Tony Dixon, Hope for Truth. How you doing? Jamie Brown, Rebecca's Way. Hi. If I've missed anyone, sorry. Oh, Sandy123. How you doing? Give me a sec. All right. Oh, yeah. All right, so how is everyone then? Hope everyone's okay. Before we start, Flat Earth here doesn't represent any map or model, just an investigation into what we've been told. Thanks everyone for coming. What we're going to talk about. What do you mean, Roxanne Glenn? What's your take on this week's goings on? I don't know. I don't watch the news or anything like that. I don't know what's going on basically, because I don't watch the news or all. I've heard about bombings in Syria and stuff like that. But I don't know much about Facebook thing. All I've seen is that Mark Zuckerberg's been up in front of the American government or something. That's all I've seen. That's all I know. AIs, I mentioned that in my live stream last night. Like I said, I think the real AI is it's not a computer or anything like that. It's the people with the Prussian education system. They've got a false sense of intelligence. They're just regurgitating what they've been told. They're the artificial intelligence to me. They're the ones that run everything and run all the stuff. What else? Syria. I don't know much about that, to be honest. I just know I've just heard that they dropped a lot of bombs last night. I don't know. I don't watch the news. I don't look into it like that because it's just fear porn. I don't bother with all that. Seen a bit, Stephen Watson. I'll have some cheese on toast if you're making a. I'll have a cheese. Actually, yeah, do me a cheese toast, Stephen Watson. Mature cheddar, though. Worcestershire sauce, yeah. No, vegetarian cheese though. Vegetarian cheese. So, just to let everyone know, I've got my meet up next Saturday, 1 p.m. Encliffe Park, outside the cafe or the cafe in Sheffield, the 21st of April, 1 p.m. So a few people turn up, we have a chat, maybe do a bit of activism. And if people agree, I might film some of it and put it on my channel. People agree to be on camera. If they don't want to be on camera, just let me know if you're there. Yeah, I'm on a bit later than expected tonight. So I don't know if it'll be on for too long because it's midnight now. So might be just a quick one tonight. Nice one, Tony Dixon. Yeah, like I was saying yesterday in the chat on the live, Trevor mentioning stuff and that and everything else. People earwigging and stuff like that. I usually mention stuff about the trivium, logical fallacy, and stuff like that, and the physics of water and how we produce pressure and how we maintain that pressure and stuff like that. Mainly. Hi, Richie BFE. How you doing? Like I said, Roxanne Glen, I'm just doing what I've got to do. You know what I mean? I'm. Nice, Sandra. Isn't it? Rebecca's away. Hi. I said hello, Baron Bronskowicz. All right. I need to get a water distiller really. Where we are, there's trace amounts of fluoride in the water, but there's all the other chemicals in it as well. So to get off of that. Yeah, you got to try and function in the cult of society. We do, yes, Roxanne. Going to get more people out there, spreading awareness of everything. I need more people knowing, but it's going to be hard because a lot of people are too brainwashed, too indoctrinated, and they haven't got the eyes to see or the ears to hear. So I'm afraid. But the ones we can get through to, more power to them. But like I said, they've got to learn to discern for themselves and see through all the bullshit. So best thing to do is try and get the trivium out there as well, and all about logical fallacy, emphymemes, and stuff like that. So I've distilled water, yeah, before, but with a pan and put water in it, and I put a bowl in it, and then put the lid on, put ice on the lid, and then boiled the pan, and then the water's evaporated, gone up, hit the cold lid, and then fell back down into the bowl. And I've had that. It takes ages, and you only get a little bit. You're not getting much at a time. Yeah, the more that are going to take it to that level, yeah, is better. Yeah, I've heard about that up for truth. Yeah, cutting down loads of trees and there's a lot of protests about it and stuff like that. Yeah, yeah. Not around where I am though. It's other places. But saying that, there's a wood at back of me, and they've cut a load of trees down in there last year. So there was someone in there with a chainsaw over there. I had a chainsaw going off, so I'm guessing they were in there cutting some stuff up and cutting stuff down the other day, and all they cut a load down and they took them all away. So homegrown cheese. How do you make homegrown cheese, Stephen Watson? You got a goat or a cow in the back garden. Yeah, they should leave the trees alone. I think, but it depends on it. If they've got a disease or they're going to fall down or they're dead or whatever, then yeah, fair enough. But if they're healthy, then they should just leave them alone. No, don't ask him, Steve HV. Oh yeah, I know what you're on about now, Baron. Yeah. Yeah, when I distilled water in a pan and that, and it left all the brown, like I don't know what it were, like brown residue in the bottom of the pan. So hope for truth. They are doing outside people's houses. They reckon it's so it don't interfere with new 5G masts they are going to put in. Well, I've not heard that, hope for truth. I didn't know why they were cutting them down. They said they were cutting them down and people were protesting. They said there were a lot outside people's houses, yeah. And I saw some last year. They had some signs on them and that saying, like, protest signs and that on them and that, and other things, and other signs saying that they're going to shut them down and everything else. So yeah, we're going to buy one of them, I believe, TDS meters. It tells you how many parts per million and that, doesn't it? Stuff in it and that. And does anyone know if anyone has spoken to elder tribes and touched by the Western civilization about flat Earth? I have seen footage of tribes in Hawaii talking about the ice wall. I've not heard anything about that, Roxanne. Real population numbers. I wouldn't know, to be honest. All I know is that basically they're trying to cram everybody into cities and towns and stuff like that to make it look like it's more populated than what it actually is. I think. I don't know if there's as many as what they say there is, to be honest. Like I said, they're cramming them all into towns and cities and stuff like that, making it look more populated, and the housing market and stuff like that. They're not building as many houses as what they need to and stuff like that. So it looks like there's a housing shortage and stuff like that. $7.5 billion sounds like pink unicorns. Well, yeah, yeah. But I think pink unicorns exist more than the 7.5 billion. So stack them and pack them. Yeah. I don't know, Rebecca's way. I've not got one. I need to get one, but I need to save the money up to buy one. So we will never suss out the population numbers. Well, no, we won't, will we? Because we can't go. It's not like we can go around and count everyone. Go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Get everyone lined up in a line and count everybody. Yeah, I had that. Head count, exactly. Sandy 1, 2, 3. Yeah, we'll have a head count. Let me back at school. We'll have a head count. See how many's here. See if there's anyone missing. Really beyond belief, is that right? Salford, 30 parts per million. London, 500 parts per million. 60s are married into the island. When I went out there a year ago, we went and spoke to elders, and the younger gen had footage of elders talking about the DSEP. All right. Only 5% of the Earth's population lives south of the equator. That wouldn't surprise me. Most people, like I said, there's all these refugees coming from down there, that like near the equator and just south of the equator, and that coming up towards the European countries and stuff like that. Trying to get everyone from down there coming up north. So they're putting them all together in the north, trying to get us all together and squeeze us all up in the north for some reason. I think I converted my. Your dad's on board then, is Tamo Luberg. Good. I told my dad about a year and a half ago, when I knew a little bit about everything and that, told my dad about it, and he went, "Oh, I don't believe that." He says, I still believe in outer space. He says, and when we die, our DNA goes into the ground, and then eventually the Earth will explode and blow up and that into space, and we'll travel off and go to another planet and that, and our DNA will go onto another planet. He says, and seed that one and stuff. I says, right, okay. And I told him about the water and stuff like that, about the seas and the water being horizontal on the surface and everything else, and it has to be contained. He goes, well, the land masses contain the ocean. I'm like, right, okay. I think my dad's too far gone, I think. He's not going to get it, I don't think, my dad. Told my brother and his wife, they're Christians, and told them. And not that I'm into the Bible and using the Bible to try and prove flat Earth or anything like that, because I'm not, but I've never subscribed or been into organized religion at all. So, but I told my brother and his wife about a year and a half ago, and all, and they wouldn't have it either. Try mentioning the Bible stuff to them, and that they wouldn't listen. They wouldn't have it. So, like I said, not that I'm into that. I'm not into religion. Never have been, ever. Never subscribed to any religions. Never believed any or subscribed to any religions. Now they say Salford children have the worst teeth because they don't get their added fluoride down them. No, it's not to do with that. It's probably to do with it's a poorer area, so there's more sugar in the diet and more stuff like that. More fast ready meals and fast foods and stuff like that, cheap food and that, because it's like a poorer area. Salford, I think. So there's more sugar in that in the diets and stuff, so that doesn't help your teeth. Or they might not brush, I don't know, as often as you should do. I don't know. Sandra, what is here? I can't remember what the water were like in Coventry. I know when I lived in Skegness, there were a lot of limescale in the water in Skegness when I lived over there for a couple of years. You know, in late teens, I think, early 20s, late teens, I lived in Skegness for about 2 years, and there were a lot of limescale there. You don't get limescale here where we are here. There's no limescale. I know that. I used to live in Coventry as well. Stoke Aldermore and Binley as well. Lived at Binley. It's good school around there. So South Yorkshire accent. I don't think it's just South Yorkshire though, Matthew C4. It's a bit of everything, I think. Because I'm originally from West Yorkshire, but I've got West Yorkshire, a bit of South Yorkshire, a bit of Midlands, a bit of Lincolnshire. I don't think I've got much London because I was a bit older when I went down there for a year. Bedfordshire and that. Bingley. No, not Bingley. Binley. Binley Woods. Around that area, Binley. Yeah, I was a kid when I was in Coventry. From the age of like 12, I think, to about 16, about 4 years. So Leeds. I lived in Leeds as well. I've lived in Leeds as well. I lived in Leeds. When I was about 17, 18, I lived there. I've lived quite a lot of places. So there might be a bit of Leeds there as well, yeah, because I lived in Leeds for a good year or so. Good year, about a year or two. So was it really bad down there now then, Rebecca? So I've not been down there for years, Coventry. So I used to live there. We've got Lady Godiva in city centre. I've got family still down there in Coventry. My mum's cousin and her kids and stuff. I had family in Rugby as well. Gallery Meridian Street, bro. Yeah, I'm guessing you cheer it up a bit, Rebecca. And you go out giving you flyers. I saw your video earlier. You're giving them out, and then that bloke in the black hat. I'm guessing you didn't know him. Steve, before your time, I think Gallery Meridian Street. Yeah, I don't think I've heard of that. I don't think I will, no. Only about, I can't remember when it were now, when it? It'd been the late 80s, mid to late 80s, something like that, when I went out in Coventry, I think. No, you've never seen him before. I didn't think you had. You give him that flyer thing, and you were talking to other people then, and say, "Yeah, don't just put it in your pocket. Don't just chuck it in bin." He says, "Have a read." He says, "Have a look. Have a read." So yeah. Mention the Earth is flat, and we soon get sent to Coventry. Yes, Tony Dixon. Yep, we'll all get sent to Coventry, won't we? Yep. Yep. Not heard that one in a long time. Tony Dixon being sent to Coventry. Good, Rebecca's way. I'm glad you had a good day of it. You get rid of many flyers. Yeah, check out Rebecca's Ways channel. She does lives as well and activism and stuff like that. Like Jamie Brown. We all need to get active, do more. Well, that's good, Rebecca, yeah. You're out loads. Even if a handful of them get to the right people, it's been good. I've seen people when they talk to people and stuff like that. I mean, the people are open to discussion, but there's a lot of logical fallacy that comes out of them and stuff like that, and mental gymnastics and stuff. And you've got to try and try and tell them that without making them sound, I don't know, like we are putting them down basically. I try and tell them that they're using logical fallacy and stuff like that without putting them down. Because once you start doing that, then they'll go on the defensive then, won't they? Yeah, did you get any on film, or is that it? What you put up, Rebecca's Way? Hopefully on next Saturday, I might see and get some stuff on film and that. If people are up for that, who are there. Like I said, if you're there at my meetup and you don't want to be on film, just let me know, and I'll keep you off the camera. You live on a Milky Way. Can anyone top that program? No. No, Tamo Luberg. No, I can't top that. Milky Way. Yeah, I think it's the best way, Matthews Evo. Do it subtly. Do it subtly. Yep, YouTube trolls want to curb all this and they want to try and slow it down and stop you and like attack you and like use psychological warfare and stuff like that, psychological attacks and stuff. Try and stop you doing it and put you off and that. But me, it just makes me want to do it even more. Because I'm like, no, I'm not standing for that. You know, no, you're not going to push me around. So, yeah, I just think you're not going to push me around. Don't let them push me around. Just keep doing it more. Just spurs me on to do more. Legit street name, look it up. I can't believe it's a street called Milky Way. Exactly beyond belief, yeah. Don't be demoralised by the psyop. The front line is that doubt and fear in your mind that stops you approaching people. Yeah, have no fear. Just get on with it, get it done. Get it done. I agree, Lee Redpath, yeah. Pushing us over the line. I hate them. Traitors to the common man and woman, obviously. So moving out of that street ASAP. I don't blame you, Tamo. I think I would as well. I won't want to live in the Milky Way. Steve, I subbed to you before. Right, Matthew C4. Cheers. I said last night, it's not about subs to me. It's good that you've subbed, yeah, but it's more about views to me and how many people see it and if getting it out there and talking to people and stuff like that. This is better and easier explaining Flutter to people face to face. Yep. I think I'd agree with that because when you're on here, you get keyboard warriors, don't you? You know what I mean? Traitors and sellouts deserve nothing but contempt. Don't forget what they oppose. Children don't deserve this shit. Yeah, exactly. But like I said last night, I mean, they're probably told a different story, a different narrative, and they think they're doing good. I mean, they've been lied to as well, and they've been told that they're doing it for X, Y, or Z reasons. You know what I mean, and because they've been told that, they think they're doing a good thing. You know what I mean, protecting something or something like that. You know what I mean? But they're not. They're just making it worse and hurting people more. So. What's everyone's first observable proof that we don't live on a spinning ball? Well, mine, Roxanne Glen, was I went to the west coast of Scotland for a holiday last August, and I looked out over the water and I could see the Isle of Arran and stuff like that, and I could see like 12 miles away down the Scotland mainland. stuff like that. And then I went over to the Isle of Arran, and I looked back over towards the mainland Scotland, and I saw some buildings like 20 odd miles away. You couldn't see what they call it between the shoreline and about a couple of miles inland. You couldn't see that because the water was raised up. But I don't know if that's because it was high tide or diffraction or whatever. But I could still see the buildings 20 odd miles away. And then I started looking into the physics of water and stuff like that. Bendy water, yeah. We've all seen bendy water. Yeah. Yeah, we've all seen bendy water. Yeah. Surface tension. That's the only time I've seen it, or a raindrop, or some fake ISS bullshit. So yeah. And then I've like I said, water, and then looking at air pressure and stuff like that, and looking at vacuums and vacuum chambers and stuff like that. And then I started looking into relativity. Like I said, I found that there's flaws in it anyway, and there's a PDF online. It's the only one I could find. I couldn't find any more. And it just basically says there's flaws in it, but the person that wrote it still believes in relativity and everything else. He just says there's flaws in it. So I was just thinking, well, hang on a minute. I read it, and it just screamed pseudoscience to me, because he was saying in the PDF that he wrote, he was saying that there's been bits taken out, bits added in, stuff like that to make it work. Well, that's pseudoscience. You can't take bits out and add bits in and stuff like that to make it work, make the maths work and make it work. So, River Clyde. Where's the River Clyde now? I was born in West Yorkshire, me, not far from Leeds. Stretchy water. Oh my god! So the water doesn't bend; it just stretches around the earth. Horizon rising. Distance vision with zoom. Yeah, distance vision with zoom and water. And the horizon rising. I think as you rise, you only see the visual horizon. Sorry, the visible horizon. Then there's the true horizon behind that, which you don't really see because of the atmospherics and stuff. But yeah, it still rises. It's the middle of the camera and everything else. When you go to 120,000 feet, it's still there, right? And then bang in the center of the camera. That's like being at eye level. So from that high up, the horizon, the length of the horizon must be that long, and it's not curved. So at 120,000 feet, what's that? About 20 odd miles up. So, and then you've got gravity, exactly, gravity. Whenever when trolls mention that, I just say, well, just show me the velocity transform. Show me the velocity transform in relativity, and show me space time, because I know for a fact I've researched and found out that science can't see or measure space time. So if you can't see something and you can't measure it, how can you say it exists if you can't see it or can't measure it? Then they'll say stuff like, I think they'll use it. I can't remember what logical fallacy it is now. I think it's let me show this pic, but don't show link. If not. Right, okay. Let me have a look, see if I can do that. I don't know if I'm going to be able to do that. I don't know how to do it, Sandra. Show that picture. Let me see all that white stuff in the bottom, yeah. Did someone manage to put it on there or something? I don't know. Where do I get this pic from? Save it. I don't know. I'm supposed to share that. I don't know. I don't know how to do that, Sandra. I don't know how to show it on here. I don't know where to. I don't know. Sorry. I don't know how to. West Coast Scotland down past Paisley, Granite, the River Clyde, Isle of Arran. Yeah, Isle of Arran. Yeah, that's where I were. I stopped in Saltcoats in a caravan for a week. Went to Largs, Ardrossan. Went on the ferry from Ardrossan over to Isle of Arran. Went from Largs on the ferry over to the Isle of Cymru. What was it? Cumbria? Something like that. Can't remember now. Yeah, water flows. If it's not level, impossible to bend it. Yeah, water is formless. It takes the shape of its container. You can't bend water. Water doesn't bend. You say this to these people, and they're like, "Well, yeah, but when it gets a big scale, gravity starts to bend it." Well, okay, then. So then gravity can change the physics of water, can it? Gravity and that can't change the physics of water. It's impossible. That means that gravity would have to be some sort of intelligence to be able to know what size it is and know how to change the physics of it to be able to bend it. Because we know that on the smaller scale, from a glass to a sink to a bath to a swimming pool to a reservoir, a dam to a lake to an ocean. An ocean's not flowing away; it's a standing body of water. Exactly, you get like what do you call it, waves and stuff like that on it, and wind pushing it around and stuff like that, ripples in it and stuff like that. Sandylands, yeah, that's the one. Yeah, Sandylands Caravan Park, Saltcoats, yeah, that's where we were. And then, like I said, I went to Lags a couple of times on train, and yep, see level because it's level. I've got a video on my channel, the etymology of words, and it tells about the etymology of the word sea and the etymology of the word water, stuff like that. Comet Street. I'm gonna find it now. Let me have a quick look, see if I can get this up. The etymology of words. It's on my channel. Anyway, if you want to go and have a look later, anybody, but so I can find it. I've got that many stuff on here now. PDFs and that I've had to download. Have a look. St. Isidore in English. This is it, I think. The etymology of words. Can't remember what page it were now. It's right down here somewhere. Let's see if I can find it quickly. Logical syllogisms. A lot of religious stuff in it as well, but telling you what the meaning of the words are. I can't find it at the minute. What I'll do, I'll leave a link in here. I'll leave a link. My channel. I'll leave a link in the chat to the video. Etymology of words. Where are we? Here we are. Here's the copy. From there. was. There's a link to the video about the etymology of words. I've done it's on this, what the word, where the word sea comes from, where the word water comes from aqua, which means literally a level horizontal surface and stuff like that. You know what I mean? It's what the words mean. So you know what I mean? Like I said, in sea level. So yes, beyond belief. Level contains system of unknown dimensions, location, and origin. Yeah, we're definitely not on a turtle. I don't know why people think that. Why would people even think that? People have sent me pictures of that. I mean, saying, "Oh, is this where the flat Earth is?" And picture of a turtle with a flat Earth disc on top. I'm like, no, don't be silly. Why would you think? Why would you think that? I think they would just take it mick. I think, but yeah. Okay, Saturn Street next door runs parallel with Dawn Street. Saturn, Dawn, Jesus, where am I? I think you need to get out of there, Tamo. Right, flat enough. How you doing? Education Street. Oh, you don't want none of that. It's based on the Prussian mimicry system, Prussian education system. Video on my channel about that and all. The Prussian education system. Bendy water. Yep. Yep. People keep talking about it, but I've never seen it. Well, I have in small, really small scale, but not in bigger, not in like cup to sea scale. Anywhere near Matrix Street? Anywhere near Deception Street? No. Lying Street? No. Hey, I want to go and live on Activism Street. That'd be good, wouldn't it? Exactly. Okay, we know it ain't. We know water doesn't bend, doesn't curve. Like I said, it's impossible unless the physics of water changes as the body of water gets bigger. But it's impossible. That's not going to happen, is it? You know what I mean? Coronation Street, yep. Fraud Street, Deceiver Street, Traitor Street. Yep. Will this convention empower or inform any people in the right way? No, I don't think it will be on belief, no, to be honest. These conventions won't empower people or inform people in the right way, no. They won't. They won't do that. The only way to empower people is teach them a true education. Like I said, the trivium, the quadrivium, liberal arts, logical fallacy, syllogisms, enthymemes, stuff like that. It's the only way to empower people. To be able to see through it all, then, because they'll be like, hang on a minute. You know what I mean? We'll see it. My old street was Coronation Street. Coronation Road. Oh. Coronation Road. Should make a flat earth town and name all the closest like that one. Yep. Why do we all buy this bullshit? Yep. We were all children. Yep. Didn't have as critical thinking, didn't have as skills and stuff. We hadn't developed. His brains were like sponges when we were children. Your brains are like sponges when you're children. You just believe what adults tell you, don't you, when you're children? Who came up with the earth is 70% water? God, I don't know. But there is a lot of water, though, isn't there? You know what I mean? There's more water than there is land. So there is a lot of water. But I don't know who came up with saying that it's 70% water. I don't know. Maybe they measured it. Maybe they got a big tape measure and measured it. I don't know. like they did with the sun and the moon. Maybe they got a big tape measure out and took it there and go, oh look, yep, there you go. Balloon Street. What chance do we have being Yep. What chance do we have being browbeaten into believing before we could apply logic and critical thinking to the ridiculous claim put to us? I remember being at school and they showed me a globe, and I says to him, well, hang on a minute. There's that land down there at the bottom, Australia, and all this other land that's down there, not quite at the bottom, but near the bottom. I says, how do people not fall off? I says, how do they hang upside down like that? Oh, gravity, go away. Like that, you know what I mean? And how does the water stay on it like that? Oh, gravity. Right, that's it. That's all. That's all they said, and I believed it. Like I said, because I was only young, only like 5 or 6 years old. I was only young, and then I believed all that. So flat enough. I'm an infant. I mean, I don't know about that, but I know a lot of people in society have got a childlike mentality. This is why they can't see all this stuff because the way they've been educated and everything else. They've got. I mean, it's done by design, I think, to have a lot of people. Most have the people with a childlike mentality, so they have to appeal to authority. So they think, oh well, this authority's figured it out, so we'll just believe them. But you don't know these people, so you believe in people you don't even know. You believe in things and believe in people you don't even know, right? And we all know people lie and deceive and that to get their own way, or to, not everybody, but a lot of people do. They lie to get their own way, to get power, to get money, to get status and stuff like that, and prestige and stuff like that. So why would you believe any of these claims, any of these things, unless they can show them you practically and say, well, look, here it is. Here's a practical example. Boom, there you go. Natural science. So, and that's what we've got to keep it to. Natural science and applied science as well. Like I said, mathematical equations and stuff like that. Maths is a language, isn't it? It's a formal science. It's used to describe things, right? So that's all well and good, mathematics, when it's used in conjunction with applied science or natural science. You can show show your claim, and then use maths to back that claim up. But you've got to at least show it as well, show it practically. So children need to know that there are people contesting this globe belief. Let them make their own minds up. Nobody else should have that responsibility other than the individual. Yep. We all need to tell our children that to teach them how to discern for themselves and see through it all. Teach them logical fallacy and all this other stuff, the trivium. Teach it to our children. And then might pass it on to their friends and stuff like that. So they can see through it all then. I'm sorry to hear that, Roxanne Glenn. Losing friends over the truth. Like I said, I told my dad anyway, we're having none of it. My brother and his wife, they're having none of it. And I've not spoke to my brother and his wife since like a year and a half ago. And I've spoke to my dad, I think, once on the phone for like 2 minutes. And that was a year and a half ago. So yep, you can't handle the truth, like the scene from the movie. You want the truth? I deserve the truth. You can't handle the truth. Yep. Yes, beyond belief, yep. We have a moral duty to do all we can to stop these children being abused. Their innocent minds being abused. Once they realise it's the truth, they will come back. Yeah, but Roxanne Glenn, yes. Once they realise the truth, they'll come back. But then it's not their fault, obviously, that they can't realise the truth because of all the television programming and stuff like that, and all the education system and all everything else. But would you really want people like that? I don't know. I don't know. Destroys life. Yeah, it is madly Redpath. It destroys a lot. It does destroy. But maybe that's what they want. That's probably why they've done it. Kept it secret all this time and brainwashed and indoctrinated everybody, and then all of a sudden they let it out there, and then because they want breakdowns, they want family breakdowns, they want everyone more apart. Basically, they want to divide everybody. They don't want everyone coming together. So it might be another way of divide and conquer. I don't know. Exactly. It's not the people's fault. I don't think it's the people's fault. If they'd have been given those critical skills and those tools to discern that from a young age, and they still fell for it, then fair enough. But people weren't given those tools. They weren't given the trivium and stuff like that, and the liberal arts and stuff like that from the education. It was taken away, so people couldn't discern for themselves and see through all the bullshit. Like I said, but if people were given all that and they still fell for all the beliefs and stuff like that, then yeah, fair enough. Then it would be their fault. But because they're not being given the tools to be able to look into anything and learn to think for themselves, because people are not taught how to think. They're taught what to think. So because people are taught what to think and not how to think, they fall for everything all the time. Exactly, real friends. Anyway, if they were real friends, then they wouldn't walk away from you if you tell them the truth. They'd still stick by you and that, and still be there if they were real friends. So that's what I think, anyway. So quadrivium minus trivium equals one dumbed down bloke. Yep, you need the trivium. The trivium is the most important part, I think. The quadrivium is good, but like I said, the quadrivium is based on music, astronomy, geometry, and stuff like that. So yeah. So I think the quadrivium will be helpful, but I think the trivium's the most helpful one at the minute to be able to see all the logical fallacies and stuff like that, and the enthymemes and the syllogisms and stuff like that. Like I said last night, it were a syllogism is like a major premise, a minor premise, and a conclusion. So you go right. Okay, the major premise could be Rex is a man. No, sorry. The major premise is all men are mortal. The minor premise is Rex is a man. So the conclusion would be, well, Rex is mortal, right? And you can think about that logically, and you can go, well, yeah, that makes sense. If all men are mortal and Rex is a man, then the conclusion has to be Rex is mortal, right? But then if they leave one of the premises or the conclusion out, it's called a truncated syllogism or an enthymeme, which basically means so they could say all men are mortal, and Rex is and they could say, well, and Rex is mortal, right? So you'd think, oh well, hang on a minute, yeah, well, if all men are mortal and Rex is mortal, then Rex must be a man. But the way they do it to deceive and stuff like that, they leave the minor premise out, and then they're like, well, no, actually, Rex is a dog, because dogs are mortal. So, and that's how they get you. You see, because then you've got to fill in that minor premise from your beliefs and from your society programming and stuff like that, what society thinks it is and stuff like that, and from your education and stuff like that. So then you're getting the wrong answer, basically. So yep, flat enough. Yep. Okay, maybe not one dumbed down bloke because you still learn useful things, but you cannot express yourself properly and end up misinterpreting things. Yes, like I just said there with the syllogism and the enthymeme. It's like all this is the globe. It's a visual enthymeme. That's all it is. They tell you, look, they show you this image of a globe, and they go, that's where you live, right? So they show you the image of that. That's a major premise. Well, that's what, and then the conclusion is that's where you live. But where's the minor premise? Do you know what I mean? The minor premise is that it's not real. It's photoshopped or composite images and stuff like that, or CGI, or fisheye lens, or whatever else, or a plastic toy in the corner. You know what I mean? We can be forceful, though, too, with the passion. Sometimes it hurts us, and others' best approaches are often gentle. Yep. Yeah, the gentle approach. Yep. Like I said, family and friends and that, when you're talking to them about the truth and stuff like that and everything else, trying to tell them everything, then basically they don't want to listen because they've got a preconceived idea of who they think you are. Right? It's like my dad years ago. I turned around to him and I said something to him and that, and he says, and he was surprised what I told him. He says, "Oh, I always thought you were fake." He says, "I says, well, no, I'm not." I says, so he had a preconceived idea. You see, my dad, that I was stupid, I was fake, right? But when I told him this thing, he realised then I wasn't. So it's crazy times, really crazy times. And I'd like to know where it's going, to be honest, but we just have to keep plodding along and keep trying and being active, talking to people, getting the word out. Your activism. Hi, Frankie B. Flat. How you doing? Not seen you for a while, Frankie B. Flat. Exactly, Lee Redpath. Yep. We're the insane and mental ones because we broke free from the indoctrination we were fed. Yep. Yep. The same. We're the insane and mental ones. We broke free. Well, that's what they call it. That is a characteristic of a cult. When people break free, they start saying, "Oh, you're mad," and all this sort of stuff, and attacking the man and stuff like that. When you break free from a cult, a religious cult and stuff like that. No, I don't believe anything anyway. But I know we're not mad and mental and stuff like that, and fake and stupid and retarded and stuff like that. No, we're not. We're the intelligent same ones. We are the intelligent same ones. I think it's them that are mental and mad and stuff like that. And I don't like using the word retarded because it's not nice. Don't use that word, but that's what they call us. But flat-hard and stuff like that. But no, it's not a very nice word. You lose your family that stay in the cult too. Yep. You can lose a lot with this. When people think we're just doing it for a laugh and we're trolling and that, you know what I mean? But we're not. This is serious. It's a serious matter. Yeah, we're not just going to come out and say, "I believe the Earth is flat." Well, I don't believe it. I know it's flat. I know the Earth is flat, right? I know what we've been told is not true, right? I know that there's a lot of lies out there and stuff and deceptions and stuff like that. Yeah. So to come out and say all this and say, look, I know the Earth's not a spinning ball in a vacuum and stuff like that and everything else. We're not doing it just for a laugh. You know what I mean? We're not trolling. We're not doing it for a laugh. Why would people even think that? Because do you know how much it takes out of you? How tiring it is, and how for the last 4 years, and how what they call it, how people lose friends, lose family, they lose everything. A lot of people will lose everything. They're not going to risk everything and risk losing all the family and loved ones and friends and stuff like that just to troll. You know what I mean? Or just to what they call it, have a laugh, are they? Really, to be honest, and to be ridiculed and stuff like that. Then people are not going to do that. So the world is getting crazy. I think it's always been crazy though, Frankie B. Flat. It's always been crazy, the world. It's just that we notice it a lot more now, I think. Yeah, every TV, yeah. Everywhere you look, there's a globe. And if you think about it logically, and you think about it, you think, well, hang on a minute. If it was actually if we actually did live on a globe, why do they have to put it out there so much? Why would they have to reinforce it so much on the news, on every TV program, in every magazine, every book, all over the internet, everywhere? It's there constantly, right? If we really lived on a globe, they wouldn't have to put it there constantly for everybody. So it just shows that it's not real. They're having to reinforce it all the time into people's minds and keep it in people's minds and stuff like that, basically. So it shows that's what they're doing, because they wouldn't have to put it on the TV constantly and on the internet and on adverts and everything else if it was real. Besides, if it was real, we'd know by now, because it's been like, what, how many years now? I've been about 2 years. There's been people looking into this at least a year or two before me. So if they had any proof and that, you know what I mean, or if it was really a globe and they had any proof, they'd have shown it by now. We'd have seen it by now, and they'd just said, right, here you go, look, here's the proof. Here's the proof. Here it is. Bang. You know what I mean? Now go away and shut up. You know what I mean? But no, they've not shown anything. But they've not proved anything or anything else. They just keep repeating the the stuff that's being poured into them, and they're just regurgitating everything that they've been poured into them, or they're using, oh, we've got a mathematical model. I'm like, well, that's no good. I want to see it in reality. So maths is not reality. And I say, well, show me a working scale model. And they're like, oh, we can't, it's going to be planet-sized. Well, then that's pseudoscience. If you can't show it and test it empirically, then that's pseudoscience, I'm afraid. Hi, David Marks. How you doing? Yeah, we need to beat them at their own game. We like, this is why I'm trying to get people to learn the trivium and about logical fallacy and all this sort of stuff. So when you come across these trolls online and that, you can just point out their logical fallacies and everything else. But you'll find once you do start pointing out all their logical fallacies and everything else, then basically they just come back with ad hominem, then attacking the man. They just start attacking you, calling your names and attacking. Personal attacks on you then, because and try and discredit you and stuff like that, and personal attacks on you because they know they haven't got nothing. That's why, and it upsets them when you point out to them that they're being logically fallacious, or they're using sophist arguments or whatever, or the gaslighting. You know what I mean? You don't need persuasion if you are making claims about objective reality that are true. You demonstrate it practically. Exactly beyond belief, yeah? You don't need persuasion if it's reality. You can show it practically if it's reality. So, yeah, the mathematical model needs to be referenced in practical reality using the substances they are claiming to know about. Yeah, and if they can't, it's pseudoscience. That's all it is. It's pseudoscience. But like I said, they just say, "Oh no, it's got to be planet-sized." You've got to do it somewhere where there's no gravity. They says, you know what I mean, and in the middle of outer space somewhere where there's no other planets or anything else, where there's no gravity, and then you'd have to have it the side hundreds of miles wide and all this sort of stuff. No, don't be silly. You know what I mean, stop being silly. Yeah, when you finally woke up, most of the world was still asleep. Yep, exactly. Frankie B. Flat. Most of the world are still asleep, and this is what we have to do. We have to try and wake people, awaken them to the truth. It's like Roxanne Glenn keeps saying, the truth does not fear investigation, and it doesn't. The truth does not fear investigation. The truth is the truth. It doesn't rely on people's beliefs. It doesn't care about what people believe or what people want to believe or what people assume to be correct. It don't rely on that assumptions and beliefs. The truth is the truth, and that's it. You can't get away from that. Or fact is fact, whichever way you wanna put it. Fool on the hill sees the sun going down, and the eyes in his head sees the world spinning round and round. Yep, I've heard that one before, Frankie B. Flat. Yeah. Thank you, Frankie B. Flat. Yeah, like I said, we've all got to do stuff like this. We've all got to get out there and do stuff. The more people see, the better. To be honest, put us faces out there and say, "Look, I'm here, and I'm proud." I didn't know that, time up. Is that right? In the Estonian language, the word flat is lame. Lame means stupid as well in Estonia. All right. I don't know any other languages. I know the odd word in Spanish, the odd word in Greek. That's about it, really. Yeah, it's changed my life for the better, I think, Frankie Flat. But it's empowered me a lot more. So, you know, this is like learning the trivium and stuff. It's empowered me to be able to see through all the bullshit. But it's educated me a lot more. I wouldn't know about being free though, because we're still having to be in society, in the cult of society and everything else, and try and like still fit into the cult of society and stuff like that. I wouldn't say we were free. We're still slaves. It has beyond belief. It has focused my attention on the real fight. Yep. Like I said earlier, I mean, the more they try and attack and stuff like that, and send the trolls in, and the trolls come in, it just makes me want to do it even more. The more I see people, real people's channels getting taken down and stuff like that, and real people that are doing this getting attacked and stuff like that, it makes me want to do it even more. It makes me just want to point out their logical fallacies and stuff like that, so people see what they're like and what they're doing. So they think, well, hang on a minute, yeah. You know what I mean? Rab, if we are slaves, who is the master or masters? Well, we don't know, Rab. I mean, that's what I mean. We know who's in the public eye, and they're the masters, and they're the master and masters and stuff. The people that are in the public eye, big top politicians, the royal families, the heads of the main religious churches and stuff like that. Them, but in my opinion, I think there's people above them that are controlling them, who are in the shadows that are not seen. You don't see. Because if you were really what do you call it, right at the top, so to speak, you know what I mean, and you wanted to do all this to people and control everybody and everything else, you'd have people out in the mainstream and stuff like that to make it look like it's them that's doing it when you're actually above them and you're telling them what to do and then they're telling you what to do and stuff like that. So yeah. What's that? Beyond belief. More power to you, Steve. Highlight the Gimp's language, their tools, and their methods. Only then can you defend from it and reverse it back on them. Exactly. That's what we need to do. We need to use the tools and the things that they use against us for our own benefit. It might even go further back than that, Matthew C4. I don't know. Yeah, higher than that. All roads lead to Rome, apparently, so they said, but they could lead back to ancient Egypt for all I know. You know what I mean? It could be going on for thousands of years or whatever. I don't know. Whoever commissioned the UN flag knows. Well, I don't know about that, David Marks. I don't represent any map or model because that UN flag, the map, it's just a globe that's been flattened out, basically. That's all. That's why you've got Australia on it, like stretched out lengthways and stuff like that. That's just a globe map. That's been like flattened out into like a circular map. That's why I don't think that's not. Well, I know it's not accurate, that map anyway. Not accurate. So I don't, what they call it, I don't subscribe to any maps or models or all like that because we don't know. We've not been there. We've not what full exploration. We've not been able to go everywhere. There's areas of the earth that are off limits, or they make it as hard as possible for you to go there. So we don't know what the place is, what it looks like, the full dimensions. Let's say. Exactly, Richie B. Yeah. If you're in charge, you wouldn't let people know you're in charge. You want to keep say private, wouldn't you? Especially if you've been doing all this stuff. Because if it did all come out and everyone like stood up and against it all and everything else, you'd be the first person they come looking for. You don't want that, so you'd stay hidden, wouldn't you? Therefore, man, check 2030 and look at their new map. It includes the Middle East. I don't know. I don't know what you're on about there, Matthew. I've never 2030. They might very well do. All those might lead to Rome, Frankie flat, but they could lead somewhere else after that. I mean, we don't know. That's maybe what they want you to think. Do you know what I mean? They might want you to think that for some reason, some agenda. I don't know. Oh, Agenda 2030. Oh, that was Agenda 21, wasn't it? And they've changed it to 2030 now. Yeah. Yeah. I don't know if Rome's got all the gold or not, Frankie be flat, but I know that apparently the what's the one in America now where they keep all the gold? Apparently it's empty. What do they call it now? Fort Knox, that's it. Apparently that's empty. Apparently, I don't know. So I've heard, but I don't know. I don't know if it is or not because I've not been, I've not seen it, so I don't know. Could be just more bullshit. Yeah, because 21 is implemented now. Right, okay. So saying that they've implemented 21 early, pushing forward quicker. Because they know people are waking up, probably that's why. So they know people are not gonna take their bullshit anymore and their crap anymore. It's so mad is the powers not to be know what's on the other side of that iPhone. Maybe from before, I don't know. Like I said, I don't know if there was an ice wall or anything like that. So I've never seen it. I've never been. I've seen pictures of Antarctica and I've seen big walls of ice and stuff like that. Yeah, but how do we really know? Like it goes all the way around and stuff like that. It could just spread out. The only way we'd know that is to go from say somewhere like California or everywhere, all the way around the landmasses. Just go in a straight line. Just keep going in a straight line. Don't follow the compass or all that. Just keep going in a straight line. And if you hit ice all the way around, then we'll know. But if you know what I mean, we need to go like east and west, but not follow the compass east and west. Go so far east or so far west, and keep going in a straight line. Maybe beyond belief. Yeah, maybe we are prisoners here for a reason. Some rehabilitation program or something like that. Yeah, maybe we are. Yeah. And the people that are waking up can see everything else. The people that are not still asleep and that and everything else. I don't like the way to sleep, but you know what I mean. Maybe we're the ones that are what they call it that are being rehabilitated. I don't know. The people that are still asleep and falling for all the bullshit and stuff like that. I mean, they're not going to get rehabilitated. Maybe they've got more sentence to go. Maybe we're old souls. I don't know. Maybe we've got a soul and we keep coming back here until we're rehabilitated, and we're the old souls and all the newer souls and stuff like that are not at that stage yet. I don't know. I don't know. Yes, hope for truth. Yep. They're trying to kick off World War III and stuff like that with more lies and deceptions and getting away with it. So have to move. Yeah, thank you, Flat Enough, for coming. I'll be wrapping it up in a minute anyway, because it's 1:05 now. I've been on about an hour or so, you know what I mean? And I'll be wrapping up in a minute because I want to go for a cigarette and go to bed, I think. So it's 1 o'clock in the morning here. Well, 1:05. So see you later, Flat Enough. Take care, yeah. Stay safe. See you later, Tamo. Stay safe, yeah. Have a good one. Come on next time if you come on. Might fire up during the week, yeah. Yeah, see you later, Matthew C4. Yeah, there's loads of crazy possibilities, Rob. Like I said, we don't know. So we just have to stick to what we do know, I think. See you later, beyond belief. Right, that's it. I'm off. I'm off. See you later, Sunday. 1, 2, 3. Adios, Rab. Maybe Stephen Watson. Yeah, maybe. Right, I'm going. See you later, guys.